Here is the most uncomfortable truth in neuroscience. The life you are living right now, the patterns, the habits, the reactions, the results, are not caused by your circumstances. They are caused by the physical architecture of your brain. And that architecture was built by repetition, by default, without your permission. Your brain has been physically shaped by every thought you've repeated, every reaction you've automated, every story you've told about yourself. The good news, and this is the part that changes everything, is that the same mechanism that built those highways can rebuild them completely at any age. By the end of this video, you will have the complete blueprint. 3 phases, specific daily habits, the exact neuroscience behind why each one works, and a 30-day protocol you can begin within the hour. That is not motivation. That is a biological instruction manual. Stay with me. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. This is not a metaphor. This is a documented biological process, first confirmed by neuroscientist Michael Myelination in the 1980s, expanded by decades of research since, and now one of the most well-established principles in modern neuroscience. Key principle: neurons that fire together wire together. Donald Hebb, 1949. Every time a thought, behavior, or emotional response repeats, the neural pathway carrying it becomes physically thicker, faster, and more automatic. Here's what the research tells us about the timeline of neural rewiring. Dr. Joe Dispenza's work on intentional thought repetition shows measurable changes in neural activity within 21 days. Dr. Andrew Huberman's research on behavioral neuroplasticity shows that consistent new behaviors trigger synaptic strengthening within 7 to 10 days of daily practice. Full automaticity, the point at which a new pathway becomes the default, typically occurs between 21 and 66 days, depending on complexity. Old brain architecture. Default patterns, automated without choice, built by repetition without intention. Running on autopilot. New brain architecture. Intentionally constructed pathways, built through deliberate daily repetition, new default, new autopilot. The 30-day protocol is designed to hit the critical window, the 7-day neurochemical activation, the 21-day structural change, and push toward the 30-day consolidation threshold. 3 phases, each one building on the last. The brain does not resist rewiring. It was designed for it. It just needs the right inputs, in the right order, with enough repetition. Now you understand the engine. Here is how you drive it. Phase 1 begins on day 1. And the habit it installs is the one that makes everything else possible. Phase 1, days 1 through 10, the disruption phase. And here is the critical insight that most self-improvement systems completely miss. You cannot build a new neural pathway while the old one is still running at full power. Before construction can begin, you must interrupt the automatic pattern, not destroy it. Interrupt it. The neuroscience of disruption. Every time you interrupt an automatic pattern, every time you catch the old highway activating and consciously redirect, you weaken its myelin sheath. The pathway becomes slower, less automatic. The brain begins rerouting traffic. Phase 1. Daily habits. Days 1 to 10. Habit 1. The pattern interrupt. The moment you notice an automatic negative reaction, pause. Name it out loud or in writing. This is the old pathway activating. Then ask, what is the conscious alternative? Write 1 sentence. Metacognitive awareness reduces amygdala activation by 36%. Dr. Matthew Lieberman, UCLA, 2007. Naming the emotion interrupts the automatic neural route. Habit 2. The morning identity statement. First 60 seconds after waking, before phone. Stand, say out loud 3 times. I am someone who knew identity behavior. Specific. Present tense. First person. Examples. I am someone who responds with intention. I am someone who creates before consuming. Identity-based affirmations activate the medial prefrontal cortex, the brain's self-concept region, and begin rewiring self-schema through repetition. Steele, 1988. Cascio et al., 2016. Habit 3. The dopamine fast window. First 30 minutes of the day. Non-negotiable. 0 screens, 0 social media, 0 news, 0 external inputs for the first 30 minutes after waking. Sit with your own thoughts. Journal. Walk. Breathe. Morning dopamine baseline is set in the first 30 minutes. External stimulation resets it artificially high, making focus and motivation harder all day. Huberman Lab, 2022. 10 days of disruption has weakened the old architecture and prepared the neural ground. Phase 2 is where the new highway gets built and the habits change completely. Phase 2, days 11 through 20, the construction phase. The research is precise about what happens neurologically in this window. Between days 7 and 21, repeated new behaviors begin triggering BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, the brain's primary growth hormone. Dr. John Ratey calls BDNF miracle grow for the brain. It accelerates the formation and strengthening of new synaptic connections. Phase 2. Daily habits. Days 11 to 20. Habit 4. The deep work anchor. 90 minutes. Same time every day, non-negotiable. 1 task, 0 interruptions. Phone in another room. This session works on the single, highest value activity toward your primary goal. No multitasking. Full cognitive immersion. Sustained deep focus releases BDNF and triggers long-term potentiation, the cellular process that permanently strengthens new neural pathways. Newport, 2016. Ratey, 2008. Habit 5. The Visualization Protocol. 10 minutes, immediately before the deep work anchor. Close eyes. Visualize completing the deep work session successfully. See the process, not just the outcome. Feel the focus. See the hands moving, the work happening. Specific and sensory. Mental rehearsal activates the same neural pathways as physical performance. Dr. Guang Yue, Cleveland Clinic, 1992. The brain does not distinguish strongly between vivid imagination and real experience. Visualization pre-activates the circuits you're about to use. Habit 6. The evening reconstruction. 15 minutes to 30 minutes before sleep. Open journal. Write. 1. One moment today where I chose the new pathway. 2. One moment where the old pattern activated and what I will do differently. 3. The person I am becoming in 1 sentence. Consolidation occurs during slow wave sleep. Journaling before sleep directs the hippocampus toward which memories to consolidate, actively steering overnight neural reorganization. Walker, 2017, Stick Gold, 2005. The new architecture is structurally sound, but an unprotected new highway, one that hasn't been tested under pressure, will collapse the moment life gets difficult. Phase 3 is what makes this permanent. Phase 3, days 21 through 30, the consolidation phase. And this is where every self-improvement attempt that stopped at day 21 failed. Because day 21 is not the finish line. It is the moment the brain begins myelinating the new pathway, coating it with the protective sheath that makes it permanent. Stopping at day 21 is like finishing a road and never putting the surface on. It works until the first hard rain. Phase 3. Daily habits. Days 21 to 30. Habit 7. The stress test protocol. Once daily, triggered by any moment of difficulty. When stress, setback, or frustration arrives, 1. Name it. 2. Breathe. 4 count in, 6 count out. 3. Ask, what does the person I am becoming do here? 4. Do that, not after the stress passes, during it. Myelination accelerates under moderate stress when the new pathway is deliberately activated. The brain reinforces what it uses under pressure. Testing the new highway under load is required for permanent consolidation. Habit 8. The identity audit. 10 minutes, weekly, on the same day each week. Review 1 week of journal entries. Answer. 1. How many times did I use the new pathway versus the old one? 2. Has my self-description in the journal changed? 3. What is the next level of this identity? Identity consolidation requires periodic metacognitive review. The brain's self-model is updated through reflection, not just behavior. Updating the self-concept actively accelerates myelination of identity-consistent pathways. Habit 9. The anchor environment. 1 permanent change to physical environment. Remove 1 environmental trigger that activates the old pathway. Add 1 environmental cue that activates the new one. Examples. Phone charger, move from bedroom, book placed on pillow, running shoes at front door. Environmental design reduces the activation energy for new behaviors by 40 to 60%. Behavior is highly context dependent. The environment is part of the neural circuit. B.J. Fogg, 2019, Wansink, 2006. 3 phases, 9 habits, 30 days. The protocol is built. Now, let us show you what this looks like inside one human life, and why missing even one phase collapses the entire structure. Skipping phase 1, the disruption, is the most common mistake. People start building new habits while the old neural architecture is still operating at full power. The old highway competes with everything new. This is why motivated people begin new habits with genuine excitement and watch them collapse within 2 weeks. Not because of weak willpower, because of unmanaged neural competition. Stopping at day 21 is the second most common failure. The habit feels formed. Life gets busy. The protocol stops. But without phase 3's myelination, without the consolidation under stress, the new pathway has no insulation. The first real difficulty in life strips the traffic back to the old default. This is the relapse pattern that most people experience and attribute to personal failure. It is not personal failure. It is incomplete biology. The structure of the protocol is not arbitrary. It follows the biology exactly. Phase 1 creates the neural space. Phase 2 builds the new architecture. Phase 3 makes it permanent. You need all 3, starting now. Here is what the neuroscience of the success brain actually looks like. And it is not what most people expect. It is not a brain that feels constantly motivated. It is not a brain that never experiences doubt or difficulty. It is a brain in which the default response to challenge is approach rather than avoidance, in which the automatic reaction to a problem is curiosity rather than threat. Research by Dr. Richard Davidson at the University of Wisconsin shows that the brain's prefrontal cortex, the seat of executive function, emotional regulation, and goal-directed behavior, physically thickens with consistent, mindful, intentional practice over 8 weeks. The hippocampus, responsible for memory and learning, grows measurably with regular aerobic exercise and novelty exposure. These are not metaphors. These are structural changes visible on MRI scans. You have the science, you have the 3 phases, you have the 9 habits. The promise is about to be delivered completely, in the exact format you can use this week. The complete 30-day Brain Rewire Protocol, biological milestone. At day 30, new neural pathway, fully myelinated. Identity-consistent behavior is now automatic. The brain's default operating system has been upgraded. The protocol is delivered in full. Every phase, every habit, every biological mechanism. Now let us be honest about the one thing that will determine whether this works for you. Here is the only variable in this entire protocol that science cannot control for. Not your intelligence, not your circumstances, not your starting point. Your willingness to repeat the behavior on the days when you do not feel like it. Because here is the biological reality. The days you least want to activate the new pathway are the days the myelin grows fastest. The uncomfortable truth. Myelination is stimulated most strongly when a neural pathway is activated under resistance. The hard days are not obstacles to the protocol. They are the protocol. Every time you choose the new pathway when the old one is pulling hardest, you are laying the most important stones on the new road. This is what the top performers understand that most people never learn. Motivation is a byproduct of action, not a prerequisite for it. You do not wait for motivation to activate the protocol. You activate the protocol and motivation follows. Every single time. Because the brain releases dopamine in response to intentional progress, not in anticipation of it. 30 days, that is the ask, not a personality transplant, not a complete lifestyle overhaul. 30 deliberate days, following the biological sequence exactly as it is designed. The brain will do the rest. It was built for this. This is what rewiring actually looks like at the end of 30 days. Not a perfectly optimized human. Not someone who's eliminated all difficulty. Someone whose brain now defaults to construction instead of collapse, to approach instead of avoidance, to chosen response instead of automatic reaction. Your brain is not your destiny. It is your current architecture. And architecture can be redesigned, deliberately, sequentially, in 30 days, with 9 habits, 3 phases, and the biological sequence that makes it permanent. You are not your habits. You are the architect of them. Share this with one person who's been trying to change and cannot understand why it keeps not working. Subscribe if you want to go deeper every week, and tell me in the comments. Which phase are you starting in? Day 1 or day 11 or day 21? Drop it below. I read every single one. See you in the next video.